Robert is listening in Bellows Falls, Vermont. Hey, Robert, you're on Free Talk Live.
I have a brother that has Asperger's syndrome.
Asperger's?
And, yeah. And, I mean, he's my older brother, and you know, I love him very much, but I really, really have a hard time trying to get along with him, you know. And I wondered maybe if I could get some advice from you guys, or maybe some tools that might work with me to be able to help me to get along with him. I mean, he tries, you know, enroll me into, you know, the religion that he goes to. You know, he's always telling me that I'm wrong. You know, he thinks that he's smarter than anybody else. And he is intelligent for, you know, what it is, but it really makes it very difficult for me to get along with him, and I'm just looking for some advice, some tools, you know.
Yeah, well, I have to say, like, that does sound like it would create some friction in your relationship, but are those things that are specific to Asperger's syndrome, or is it just maybe that he's kind of dogmatic?
They're not unusual.
Yeah, because I was thinking, I know some people who try to convert me to their religion, and they don't have Asperger's syndrome, right? Or who think they're always right. What's that?
He definitely has it. He's been checked out, and he definitely has it. But it's just like I said, it's just really frustrating, you know.
Yeah, I think.
You know, to with him,
yeah.
You know, and
yeah, I hear you, Robert.
I'll shut up and you guys go ahead and talk.
Well, you know, I think something that would really help with anyone, and regardless really of their condition, because I think this is like trying to prove them wrong. I mean, people will just like keep throwing facts at you back and forth, and you can find facts on anything, or, you know, they'll just keep repelling. But I think the question to really ask somebody that's giving you maybe a hard time is asking them what they want. Like, what are they really trying to achieve? What do they want from you? And turning it into making the question not about like a fact versus fact or a belief versus belief kind of conversation, but turning it into what exactly are the goals that both of you are trying to reach, or at least that he's trying to reach, because that's something that you can really respond to, and that doesn't require like a knowledge of Christianity or a knowledge of some kind of factual business. You know what I mean? That's getting right to the core of what exactly, like, why do you, like when he says, you know, look, I want you to come to church. Well, why do you want me to do that? Well, I'm concerned about your soul. And then that's a conversation that can be had about how you feel about your own soul. I mean, even with somebody that has Asperger's syndrome, I've found that kind of conversation can really help. I've worked with people before that have that. And really, once you get down to the feelings of it, often enough, you can get something, or at least they'll end up just constantly repeating themselves, sure, but then at least it's not a fight.
I have a book suggestion from our caller, Nathan, who had just called in. He recommends a book called The Unwritten Rules of Social Relationships, Decoding Social Mysteries Through the Unique Perspectives of Autism. And it's by Dr. Temple Grandin and Sean Barron. And I guess the authors both have autism, but they've kind of learned to, you know, live in the social world, even though in spite of their Asperger's syndrome or autism spectrum disorders. So, and the book is highly rated. It's got 74 reviews, and it's almost 5 stars on Amazon. So that might be helpful.
Yeah, I have a nephew that's autistic, and that was the only way, really, even to get to the bottom of what he was, you know, what he was trying to do, what he was thinking, because he would just constantly say, "No, I don't want to do that. No, you know," and all this stuff. And then if you just stopped and asked him why. You know, and what are you feeling? What are you wanting? And then he would respond with, "It hurts," or something like that. And then you could actually get to the key of what he was trying to get at, and you really could solve it. Even with when he was really young, that worked. And so I see that as a key.
You know, people, it's hard for people to get along, and this is why.
Even without autism thrown in the mix, for sure.
And that's just it's just one of those things. It's difficult, and so a person who is able to control the situation, to control the upset, to control the you know, what's going on is you know, as far as, you know, the when people get these flare-ups of emotion, if you're able to control that in the other person, you win in life. And honestly, you don't have to be able to do it every time, just some of the time, and still do well in the situation. But it's going to happen. Personalities are going to conflict, and that's that.
Yeah, and then some personalities in particular are just more challenging. I definitely hear that, like when someone insists that they're right.
I'm glad you see it that way, Stephanie.
Finally, someone understands these libertarians. No, I mean, seriously, one thing that people often accuse libertarians of is being Aspergery, quote unquote, like having some characteristics of almost like someone with Asperger's syndrome, because they're very logical, sometimes to the point where they don't pick up on social cues. And so, maybe I don't mean to minimize your brother's situation, Robert, but I think those are our people. We deal with them a lot. So hopefully this has helped, Robert. Thank you for calling in tonight.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.